looking to etch his name in the long line of Team Green's 125 champions. Hot Sauce has dominated the series from the start, easily winning at Anaheim and Phoenix, and last week coming from behind to put the field on notice at round number 3. Ivan Tedesco is the new IT rider in the 125 class. The Pro Circuit star goes for 4 in a row next on ESPN2. California, Qualcomm Stadium for tonight's THQ AMA Supercross Series. This is 125 West Racing. And hello once again, everybody. Todd Harris, along with the founder and editor-in-chief of RacerX Magazine, Davey Coombs. Davey, good to have you with us. The task at hand for Travis Preston and Stephane Roncada is somehow try and track down Ivan Tedesco.
You know, both these guys have been champions before in this series. They know they can do it. As far as Preston goes, he missed a lot of last year with an injury. Last week at Anaheim was a great step forward to him. He led some laps, got more comfortable. He is about due for a win. As far as Ricotta goes, I'll be honest with you, he's not going to outwork you for a title, but he's smart enough to hang around, get consistent finishes. Who knows? If Tedesco has a problem, I think Ricotta will be right there.
Let's take a look at our point standings. It all culminates in Las Vegas. Las Vegas, the official destination of Supercross. And there he is, Ivan Tedesco, with the perfect points on top of the board. Teammate behind him, Travis Preston, also right there. We talk about Ivan Tedesco. What is the difference? Everyone wants to know, is it the team, is it the bike, is it the combination of all?
I think it is a combination of all those things. You got to remember, Ivan ended the 125 East Series last year with a win. He carried that into the offseason, was able to work off that. Plus, he got that KX250F, an amazing motorcycle. I think it caught Honda and Yamaha off guard. And finally, he's with Mitch Peyton in Pro Circuit. The guy's a proven winner. He's a disciplinarian. Maybe that's just what Ivan Tedesco needed.
Well, we talked to Ivan Tedesco. He knows that Mitch Peyton's a proven winner, and here's what he had to say about his new boss.
I think Mitch Peyton and all the guys at Pro Circuit have won so many championships because, you know, first of all, they've hired good riders, and they build such a good bike, and the whole team works together really good, and hopefully that could bring them a championship this year.
Well, it's now time for the MX Unleashed track experience just before we go racing.
Well, once again, we're on board with Andrew Short of the MotorWorldRacing.com Suzuki team. That was the first turn there, and right away into this really neat rhythm section. A lot of different ways to do it. You see Andrew going up high there in the middle, gets on the bank turn. Now check out these whoops. They were so easy yesterday. The Dirtworks guys kind of got challenged, came through and made them big. As soon as you get through them, you got a triple, and then a tricky section here. You can either go double like he did or get up on top. Another section of whoops, bank corner, and then a big rhythm section. Check out the dirt. Usually it's kind of a blue groove here, but they brought in all new dirt, so it's really tacky. A lot of good lines. Andrew's going to come back across the start line right there. There you see Ivan Tedesco jump in behind him. Now they got some flat ground racing here. I think you see a lot of passing. You see Short taking inside line, jumping that triple right behind Tedesco. Another bank turn, swing around, back across the starting line, and this is the last corner. It's a bank turn. You might see a lot of action there, and there is your finish line, and that's it from the MX Unleashed track experience.
So that's your track. Mother Nature dropping the mercury just a little bit tonight at Qualcomm Stadium. Temperature around 55 degrees. The winds out of the west, as you see, at 10 miles an hour. And they're calling for intermittent light showers possible. We're hoping, David, that holds off, but it will be a great night nonetheless. Let's take a look at the format. We've got qualifying 2 heats plus the LCQ. That leads us up to 22 riders making the main event, and we'll go 15 laps. Our winner last year, of course, the 125 West champion, James Stewart Jr. Right now, let's join the third member of our broadcast team. Good to have him along, Robbie Floyd.
Guys, I want you to check out this starting gate, something I've never seen before in Supercross. The starting pad's actually about 3.5 feet higher than the rest of the whole shot area. It's a little flavor for these riders, but it's going to be difficult. They only got to practice it one time. They've got a question. Do they jump and launch off of this starting line, or do they roll down it and get a good drive? Most of them are going to roll down and see how they drive out. The other thing is, you know, the suspension clamps that holds that front end down, do they use it or not? Most of them are choosing to use it, but I talked to David Bailey earlier, and he said, you know what's going to be funny is normally these riders are coming in with their suspension half cocked where it's really stiff. Now that thing is already going to be popped, and they're going to have a full set of suspension to work with. Guys?
All right. right, thank you very much, Robbie. Good work down there. A lot of information. First off, let's talk about this starting line. This is crazy.
It's a long, long start. Like Robbie said, after they come off that ledge, you go down and it's going to be a left-handed corner. They're always left-hand turns. That way you can get your foot on the brake. But this one's kind of got 2 points on it. You're actually going to turn twice, so I expect to see a lot of activity down there, for lack of a better word.
Well, here's your rider update. Chris Gosselaar and Robert Canary, they are questionable. Definitely out Michael Craig and Matt Walker. So we're already at round 4, and riders starting to drop out. The 30 board is up. It is now sideways as we take a look at the starting grid. It's Roncada. Preston's in there as well. Get a look at this start from San Diego.
And look at that. That rider came from the far outside. You don't see it very often. A very dynamic starting area.
It's one of the Blair brothers. 125 goes and gets the whole shot. That's Daniel Blair from Lodi, California. Sporting that all black, riding the Yamaha. Right behind him, number 21 is Stephane Roncada, and then Travis Preston, your top 3.
Did you see that over that triple? I think Daniel Blair was messing with his clutch lever. And here comes Roncada on the inside. And Blair goes right back by him. You don't expect to see that when you're Stephane Roncada. And here comes Preston now.
Travis Preston on the inside, on board the Honda, number 62, goes into your picture. Here comes Roncada trying to square it off. Just gets through, does Preston. Roncada now slides back to 3rd. And look at Blair showing these factory guys what it's all about.
He had to come through the LCQ in the afternoon qualifier, so it's a pretty amazing ride. Also, he's going to be riding the 250 class.
This is 125, heat number 1. If you're just joining us, Daniel Blair out front. Travis Preston in 2nd. Here's Stephane Roncada to the inside line, number 21. He'll move into 2nd, and Brock Sellards now getting into the fray.
A lot of talent behind Daniel Blair. This is the best we've seen him ride this year, and very impressive. Keeping out Brock Sellards. He's been really quiet this year. Pretty good start for him, and he's got to start making things happen for Yamaha Troy.
Daniel Blair out front. We'll give him a shout. He's on the Yamaha YZ250F. BlairMX.com Powerhouse, LBZ, and Yoshimura. As we take a look at the Tissot running order, Stephane Roncada trying to track down 125. Daniel Blair, your leader. Travis Preston, number 62, on board the Honda. Reeling in with Roncada and going back, and here comes Brock Sellards sitting in 4th.
You see what Travis Preston tried to do. He tried to go inside, and what happened is he couldn't get out of that corner and do that triple. He almost gave up 3rd place to Brock Sellards, but I got to tell you, I never expected Daniel Blair to be out front for this long. Now it looks like Roncada's got a hook in him.
Blair tries to block pass, nothing doing, says Roncada. So Stephane Roncada, number 21, on board the Kawasaki, goes to the lead. Daniel Blair sits in 2nd. Good position for him, right ahead of number 62, Travis Preston. So those are your top 3 right now, and Preston's thinking about shaking that up even more.
You know, I'm not sure, but I don't think Stephane Roncada has lost a heat race yet.
We'll step aside when we come back. More 125 Heat 1. Welcome back to San Diego, California. We're at Qualcomm Stadium. This is 125, heat number 1. Your leader, number 21, Stephane Roncada, who just picked it up. And we've got action behind him. Daniel Blair was in first, number 125. He's just been passed by number 62. That's Travis Preston. And Blair in danger of sliding back even more, because here comes the 18 of Brock Sellards on board the Yamaha.
And there went Sellards on that inside line. He was able to get around Blair. Blair's not going to win this race, but full props to that privateer. What a good ride for that kid.
No question about it. Daniel Blair putting in a great showing. Remember, we're only going 6 laps, so just 2 to go as we take 9 to the main event. So Daniel Blair has done himself a great job tonight, being able to go back to the trailer and rest for the main. Top 9 to the main, the other 11 to the LCQ.
See Blair taking a look over his shoulder there. Right now, he's got to be thinking, okay, I got out front, I did my sponsors well, I got on TV. He just needs to worry about qualifying. You can see him looking around and everything, and he needs to ride these last 2 laps like he rode the first 2. See guys passing him.
Right.
Just needs to settle down, get back to where he was.
Number 52, Greg Schnell, the latest to go ahead of Daniel Blair, number 125. Akira Narita, number 982, also bypassed him. So Blair has slid back considerably. He now sits in 6th place, which is still a qualifying position. But Davey, talk about what it means to be a Travis Preston with the support he gets and a Daniel Blair.
Well, they're not even in the same class other than the fact they happen to ride the same bikes. But, you know, Travis Preston earned this ride. And as you can see, Daniel Blair is a guy out there. He's got a lot of potential. He's just got to get the right break, and maybe getting out front like that for a little bit was able to get him, you know, maybe someone will call him next time.
White flag is out for your leader, number 21. That is Stephane Roncada, teammate of Ivan Tedesco, the overall leader right now on the 125 West Series. Roncada takes a look over, sizing up the track, trying to find out where Preston is, and Preston is a good 50 yards behind him, and we have got a great one here in San Diego. 125 heat number 1 as we just get started on the 125 West circuit tonight. Travis Preston looks like he's going to settle in for second. No harm, no foul. He'll get a good choice at the line at the main event.
Ricotta looks really solid tonight. You see him kind of flowing through the corners, through the rhythm sections. Looks like he's riding with a lot of confidence. You know, he's been on the podium every time. It's got to be bothering him a little bit that his teammate right across the truck from him in Pro Circuit has won every race. So maybe this is Stephan's night.
Stephane Roncada with one more turn. He will see the checkered flag. Your winner, 125, heat number 1, Stephane Roncada. Right behind him is Travis Preston. So those two automatically qualify for the main event as the rest of the pack comes through. And you can see the gap that it is. Number 18, Brock Sellards. He will hold on for 3rd place. And the rest of the riders. Schnell moves up to 4th. Narita grabs 5th. The official results from 125 heat number 1 look like this. It's Stephane Roncada, followed by Travis Preston, Brock Sellards, Greg Schnell, and Akira Narita rounding out the top 5. Right now, let's send it down to Robbie Floyd, who is with our winner.
Stephane Roncada, you took the win. I thought the ghost of Jeremy McGrath was out there. Then the 125 of Daniel Blair. That guy was pretty tough to get by, huh?
Yes, he was very tough. You know, I kept trying to go inside in that corner, and there was a hay bed blocking the way. And I went in there twice, and it was my mistake, but I couldn't make the pass. And then I finally decided to you know, give it a little more gas and make the pass because, you know, Preston was on my ass. I couldn't really chill there. I had to go for it.
Good run.
Thank you.
125 heat number 2 on the starting line as we take a look at the Thor starting grid. The name that just jumps right out at you, Ivan Tedesco, also Andrew Short in there, and Nathan Ramsey. And Robbie made a mention to the ghost of Jeremy McGrath. Why don't you explain that to the viewers?
Well, when MC got started in the 125 class, he was number 125, and these San Diego fans certainly know all about Jeremy McGrath. So good for Daniel Blair. Probably the first time he's ever been compared to Jeremy McGrath.
And we are going on board right there with Andrew Short. He will be running at number 32. The 30 board is sideways. They drop down. We're racing again at San Diego.
Looks like Ramsey came up on the inside.
Rider down.
That was Tim Wygand, number 56. You see him stuck under the bike there immediately. They're with him. Now it's Tedesco and Ramsey at the front of the pack.
Well, we talked about the speed of both these young men. Ivan Tedesco extremely fast, and Nathan Ramsey, number 25, settles in for second. I don't think he's going to stay there very long.
No, but you got a classic case here. You've got Ivan Tedesco just on a roll, the roll of his career, and then you got Nathan Ramsey. He's got all the pressure of American Honda behind him. I know they expected him to win by now with his teammate Ernesto Fonseca getting hurt earlier in practice. He's the only guy in that Honda big rig. That pressure's going to grow with every lap he's behind Tedesco.
Is Ivan Tedesco up to the challenge? I mean, every week it grows, the myth, everything can be beat. Is Ivan Tedesco up to the challenge?
Of course he is. You know what? The more he stays out front, the more he rides, the more confidence he gets. You can see in practice, guys are jumping in behind him. He is carrying the ball right now. He's the go-to guy, and he looks very comfortable as the center of attention in this 125 West region.
Ivan Tedesco out in front right now for the 125 heat number 2. We're going 6 laps, top 9 to the main, the rest of the 11 to the LCQ. Nathan Ramsey trying to find an extra piece of gear, something to close the gap. He just cannot close down. He's about 20 yards behind of your leader, number 29, Tedesco. And then the field really starts to thin out. Rodriguez right now, number 108 on the KTM, sits in third, but it's a 2-man race right now. And here comes Nathan Ramsey. Talk about a guy that's up to the challenge. Nathan Ramsey has won before. He's been on the 250. He's back on the 125. Can he carry the Honda flag?
Well, he's going to have to. Nathan's a journeyman pro. I mean, he's got one of the best stories in American Supercross. This guy was a privateer out of Tennessee and had really no prospects, was out there doing his own deal. And now he's out. He's the only guy under the Honda truck. That's a pretty cool deal.
There's number 25. Your second place runner right now, Nathan Ramsey. As we look at the start one more time, number 56, Tim Wygand is down, but he is going to be okay. He's up walking away from this Unbelievable accident. We'll be back to San Diego more 125 after this. Back to San Diego, California. This is 125, heat number 2. Todd Harris along with Davey Coombs and Robbie Floyd, and your leader, number 29, Ivan Tedesco on board the Kawasaki. That is a familiar phrase and a familiar face out in front. Behind him is number 25 on board the Honda. That's Nathan Ramsey. And then the rest of the field. Remember, we're taking the top 9 to the main, but Davey, I got to tell you, these two guys are certainly classing themselves apart from the rest of the field.
Yeah, but I'm just kind of impressed by the fact that there's a 2-stroke actually in the top 5. You see Joaquim Rodriguez finally back healthy riding the KTM. He is in 3rd. He's got Troy Adams coming up behind him, but you know what? Those 125s, those tiddlers are getting rarer and rarer. And
we saw Rodriguez last year. He started this circuit off in Europe, and he had a great showing. I think it was in Arnhem where he really put on a great performance on board that KTM. And I know the folks at KTM are expecting big things out of him, but you're right. Troy Adams is right behind him.
Yeah, back then in Arnhem, you got to remember, that was his introduction to Supercross. He was also riding a 250, but Joaquin Rodriguez is a pretty tall guy, probably as tall as Travis Preston. So a 125cc motorcycle, it's got to be tough in Supercross, but you know what? This is the only way he's going to learn, because if you throw him into the lion's den, that is the 250 class, he's going to be lost, and that's what happened to him last year. He got hurt.
Yeah, just ask Eric Sorby and Mike Brown and the rest of the guys what that lion den is like. 108 is Rodriguez on board the KTM. Right behind him is number 61, Troy Adams. They go 3 and 4 respectively, and in 5th place is our helmet cam, Andrew Short. There's Troy Adams running in 4th on board the Kawasaki, trying to get some momentum. Here's a guy who's got some talent. As we go back to 5th place in our onboard camera, Troy Adams got the talent. He just hasn't seemed to find his niche yet.
It's kind of like Daniel Blair in that first race. He's just got to get the right amount of attention, put a good race together. And right now, he is working. Troy Adams is working with Scott Sheik. He's a 125 national winner, rode for Team Honda, taking over the role of the manager of that new team they're working with, Pro Circuit. And he's in a good position, but it's still not a factory ride. But Troy Adams getting close.
Adams right now trying to get close to Rodriguez, number 108 on board the KTM as the white flag comes out. Rodriguez is your 3rd place runner. Adams right now sits in 4th, and that is a qualifying position here in the 125, heat number 2, top 9. As we go back to our leader, that is Ivan Tedesco. Not sure if he was credited with the whole shot, but close enough, and he is pretty much checked out. The only man able to really run with him right now is Nathan Ramsey, and there you see the gap he's got on Ramsey in 2nd.
Yeah, he's been inching away from Ramsey ever since they came out in that first turn, but look at Tedesco, Todd. He's not making any mistakes. Riding real fluid, real confident. Guy's going to be tough to beat.
You talk about confidence in this sport. I think a lot of people say it's all about the bike and the talent, but here's a guy who just every week seems to get faster as he comes around. The checkered flags are out. Your winner, heat number 2. They call him Hot Sauce, number 29. Ivan Tedesco picks up the victory. Right behind him, Nathan Ramsey gets 2nd, and we'll have to wait a few seconds before our 3rd place rider comes through. So the official results, 125, heat number 2, shakedown like this. It is Tedesco once again picking up a victory. He's followed by Nathan Ramsey, Troy Adams, Short, Chris Gosselaar finishing in top 5. Rodriguez slides back to 6th, and then DeMartis, Hansen, and Boniface, the top qualifiers. They all move on to the main event. Right now, let's check in with Robbie.
Well, Ivan, you looked so good out there. You took the win, and you were 9 seconds faster than your teammate. Were you giving it your all there at the end?
Yeah, you know, I was just trying to ride smooth. I saw Nathan back there. I got a little lead on him. I just rode a comfortable race, and I could have lit it up a little bit more, and I'll just save that for the main.
Good job.
Thanks a lot.
Check out our upcoming race schedule on the 31st of January. We're making our 3rd and final appearance in Anaheim, California at Edison International Field. The following week, we go up the coast to San Francisco, California, Pac Bell Park. And on the 14th, a cross-country jaunt down to Houston, Texas, and Reliance Stadium. Should be a good 3 weeks of racing. Hope you can join us live. Right now, it's time to check out this week's Suzuki Question of the Week. I'll tell you what, this one's a good one.
What is a typical week like for a factory Suzuki rider?
Well, a typical week for me starts out after the races on Saturday. You go home, fly home on Sunday, and get some rest. And Monday, you go back and start riding and training, and do that through on Wednesday. And Thursday, get ready to go out of town. And Friday, you start practicing and getting your bike dialed in and all that. And Saturday, you just come to the races and have a lot of fun and hope the night goes good. and that's about all it is for a factory rider. So thanks for asking the Suzuki question of the week.
The life of a factory rider, kind of rock star-ish. Right now we're getting set for the 125 LCQ. As the 30 board goes up, we take a look at the starting grid for this LCQ in the 125 West class. There's Jesse Casillas, Sean Collar, Ryan Morris, surprised to see him in there, and Ryan Abrigo, not to mention the other riders as the 30 board still stays up. Remember, 22 riders going 4 laps, top 4 to the main for everyone else. Thanks for playing. That start is still causing a lot of guys a lot of concern. Bit of a pile up in the pack, but they get through it just fine. And coming out, it's a KTM rider.
It's Ryan Morris, and you know, that's the guy we kind of expected to be up front, because like you, Todd, I didn't expect to see him in the LCQ, but gets through the whoops cleanly, and a good start for Morris on the 125 KTM. That is definitely a 2-stroke, by the way. They don't make a 4-stroke 250.
So Ryan Morris takes him into the green flag lap. Remember, the top 4 will go on to the main event, and Morris right now, he's been a great story all year long. Here's a guy who didn't have really much of anything going the privateer route, and all of a sudden a great company like KTM steps up and says, hey, you want a factory ride, young man? And who wouldn't take that? So he is flying the colors of KTM right now. Out in front is number 160, Ryan Morris.
You see Adam Menenga coming up behind him in second. Right now, both these riders just need to be patient. It's a very short race. The real race is coming up later, but if you don't get in the top 4, of course, you don't make it. You can also see the track sort of starting to break down a little bit, making it easier to jump some stuff. There's Mike Young, who just moved into 3rd place. On the inside, that was Kiefer, I think.
Kiefer almost clipping him, you're right.
So right there, Kiefer's the guy that's holding on to the last qualifying spot.
So that is the hot seat. 4 positions move on. You talked about the dirt a little bit. This is brand new dirt. This is virgin soil just picked up by Todd Gendro, Clear Channel, for a price of $150,000. You talked about it breaking down. Is it a question where we'll get to the road base, or it's just the dirt is not going to clod up like it usually does?
Well, I think it won't clod up like it usually does, you know, and after a while the dirt will pack down, and they put a lot of years here at Qualcomm doing Supercross, you know, some of the monster truck shows and everything, and to bring in the new dirt just makes this an entirely different event.
125 LCQ is what you are watching. Morris sits atop the board, followed by Menenga, Young, and Collier, the top 4. Sleater on the outside looking in, as is Abrigo and Owens. And this is somewhat of a surprise. You see some of these guys that we thought, like McGavran, Mace, Merritt, maybe Blair would be up there, and they're looking like their evening may be done.
At the very bottom of the results is Suzuki factory rider Brian Gray. Got hurt earlier, and he is not going to qualify. So right now, Moraes, Menenga, Young, and Collier, you're the guys. Cole Siebler probably wants to get in there, but he's running out of time.
Talking about Team Suzuki, I know Roger DeCosta runs the factory program over there. Have they just been snake bitten? Has someone put a curse on them the last few years?
I tell you what, they must have. You know, this week their 2 top 125 East riders, Brandon Jessman and Brock Kepler, both got hurt on the same day. Just at the Suzuki track, you know, they got a few more weeks to get ready for Houston, but that puts the team in a bind once again. Of course, Sebastian Tortelli's injured, Travis Pastrana is injured, Sean Hamlin is injured. It's just a lot of guys hurt. You just got to wonder when it's going to stop. DeCosta was almost never hurt in his career, and now all of his riders seem like they're always hurt. It's kind of a weird dichotomy.
Roger DeCosta, the Iron Man of the sport, running it for Suzuki. This is the final lap of the 125 LCQ. Your leader, Ryan Morris, out in front. He got the whole shot. He has not looked back on board that KTM. Davey makes a good point, running a 2-stroke out there, and that has been the subject of a lot of talk out in the paddocks. What has happened to all the 2-strokes? Well, KTM's got a good one right now and a good rider in 160.
One more turn to go, and that's going to be it for Ryan Moraes. A very solid ride to take the win.
As we look at the Thor qualifying results from the 125 LCQ, it's Ryan Moraes getting the win, followed by Adam Menenga, Michael Young, Michael Sleater, Sean Collier, unfortunately will not make the main. We'll be back to San Diego for more racing after this. California's Qualcomm Stadium. We are getting set for the 125 main event. Right now it's time for the Nissan Rider of the Week.
Yeah, I'm Brian Gray. I'm from St. Augustine, Florida. I ride the 125 West on the RMZ 250. Supercross series is really just a learning curve for me right now. You know, I feel like I'm getting better every time I'm on the track, and you know, the racing is really helping me a lot over practice and everything. This is my wife, Michelle. There's a little bit more pressure, you know, but it's more of what I put on myself. You know, the guys at Suzuki are great. They don't put much pressure on me at all, you know, because they know this is my first year, and they know, you know, they signed me for outdoors. They didn't sign me for Supercross.
Well, it's a tough night for Brian Gray, but he will be back as we take a look at our Suzuki starting grid for the 125 main event. Ivan Tedesco, Stephane Roncada, Nathan Ramsey, and Travis Preston headlining the top four, but a lot more talent out there. Also, Andrew Short out of Marietta, California, number 32, will be running our helmet cam tonight in the 125 main event. Right now, let's check in with Robbie Floyd.
There's no doubt that Ivan Tedesco is the fastest rider in the 125 field tonight, but I think one guy to look for is the number 25. He was in the same heat race, Nathan Ramsey. I said, Nate, how is Ivan so much faster than you? He said, it's all in the corners. I think he's carrying a little bit more corner speed. I know what he's doing, and he seems to think he's got enough to beat him in the final.
All right, thank you very much, Robbie, as we get set. Final preparations for the 125 main. As we said, Andrew Short will be running the helmet cam, number 32 on board, running that Suzuki. Andrew's been doing a great job tonight, and we wish him the very best. David Coombs, we get ready for the showdown on the 125 here in San Diego. How do you stop Ivan Tedesco? Is it just the corners, like Robbie said that Nate was talking about?
Well, right now he's the complete package, so what you need to do is just attack Ivan, attack him early. Don't let him get away.
30 board is sideways. This is the 125 main from San Diego. Well, Tedesco will not be getting the Butterfinger hole shot. That honor goes to number 52 out in front. He is going to run off with this one. It's Snell, but Snell loses it quickly to 21, Stephane Roncada.
That was a lightning pass by Roncada. I can't believe how fast he got through that rhythm section. And check it out, Ivan Tedesco is back in about 10th. So this is Roncada's chance to break away.
So will the streak be broken? Rider down in the back of the pack. It's another ride. We'll check on that. But right now it is Stephane Roncada, number 21, on board the Kawasaki, just running away with this thing. An amazing lead coming into this, the green flag lap. Behind him, Greg Snell gets in there. Nathan Ramsey now has moved into second place ahead of Snell.
You see Roncada already starting to gap a little bit. Now remember, it's been a long time since these guys have been on the track. They've had a little bit of dew, some condensation. There's even some rain at one point. He just needs to be smooth right now and not blow this good early lead. But you know what? Nathan Ramsey has moved into second place. You see him in the picture. And right there, Travis Preston takes the high line over Greg Snell. So the guys we were talking about earlier, the people that can beat Ivan Tedesco are 1, 2, and 3.
Ivan Tedesco now sits in 5th position right now. We saw him last week in Anaheim, California, come from the back of the pack. Can he do it tonight with a teammate up in front? Number 21 is your leader as we take a look at the Tissot running order. It's Roncada, Ramsey, Snell, and Chris Gosselaar, number 35, right there in 4th. Here's your Butterfinger hole shot one more time, Davey.
Well, I'll tell you what, Greg Snell was just on the gas. He got off that hill quick. You could see Nathan Ramsey on the inside. And look at Snell use this berm. That's the way the Dirtworks guys build it to be a good start. But then Roncada came down this straightaway, and check that out. Takes the high line on the outside, and he's still in the lead. Now here's Ivan Tedesco. He's just moved into 5th past Snell, and that was my mistake earlier. I thought that was Preston in 3rd. It was Chris Gosselaar, and he's riding with an injured heel.
Chris Gosselaar, number 35, looking very fast, but he is unfortunately the next victim of the Piranha. Ivan Tedesco looking to make mincemeat of this crowd as he goes through the pack. He was way back in 9th just a lap ago, and look at this. Tedesco picks up another spot.
Man, he is just riding so well. He's creating his own lines out there. There really wasn't a lot of room to pass, and he wasn't even looking at Gosselaar. I think he was looking at Ramsey and maybe even to Roncada.
You know, interesting, I was talking to David Bailey earlier tonight, and he said the lines are going to change. This is not a race where one line is going to carry throughout the race. Remember, this is a 15-lap race, and David Bailey was saying every 3 laps the line could change. The best line could change every 3 laps, and that is amazing with this new dirt.
You can see on the outside of those corners how it's starting to eat out. And look at that, Tedesco's really starting to reel in Ramsey. He's got a hook in him. Yellow flag out. We got a rider down on the inside, but no problem for these guys. And look at Tedesco get a great start through those whoops. And if you get into the whoops fast at the beginning, carry that speed through, you can pick up a lot of time. Look, he's in the same picture almost with Nathan Ramsey.
Well, Robbie Floyd talked to Nathan Ramsey just prior to the gate dropping. Ramsey thought it was all corners. I'm sorry, right now, that Kawasaki is doing it right everywhere. Ivan Tedesco up from 9th, now sitting in 3rd place behind Nathan Ramsey and your leader, number 21, Stephane Roncada.
Right now, if Tedesco wants to get Roncada, he's got to keep moving. He can't waste a lot of time behind Ramsey. By the same token, Ramsey has got to move forward and quit worrying about the rider behind him. These 2 guys can effectively give Roncada room to break and run. That's what he's done so far, but long time to go yet.
No question about it. This is a 15-lap race. We're only a third of the way through it. The running order looks like this. It's Roncada, Ramsey, Tedesco, Gosselaar, and Snell, the top 5 in the 125 main event. We'll be back to San Diego after this. Back to San Diego, California. We're at Qualcomm Stadium. This is the battle for 2nd place. Nathan Ramsey on board the Honda. Number 25. Number 29 is Ivan Tedesco on the Kawasaki. He has a 3-win streak going, and he does not want to lose it here. He's got a teammate out in front, and Stephane Roncada, who sits in 1st. There you see him going through the start-finish. But it is all Ivan Tedesco on the back of Nathan Ramsey.
Tell you what, that KX 250F is tracking really nicely. Of course, and check it out. He's going to come in on the inside. He's got the line. Oh! And he just about pulled the trigger, but instead he did the smart thing. He kept it down low. Didn't want to risk getting a penalty. He makes the pass. So once again, it's the KX 250F, so Pro Circuit 1 and 2. Now what's Ramsey going to do?
Well, Nathan Ramsey is certainly in the catbird seat. He talked about what he had to do tonight to take out Ivan Tedesco, not literally, but to beat him in this race, and he has not been able to do that. Ivan Tedesco coming from as far back as 9th on the opening lap. He now sits in 2nd, and he is closing in on the leader and teammate, Stephane Roncada. This 125 main is a great one as we look at the pass one more time, Davey.
Well, I think that Ramsey had a tough time getting out of that corner. Down the straightaway, Tedesco was able to go just much faster, grab the inside. He could have parked him right there, but instead, he just aimed for the whoops, made a clean pass. Well done.
He showed him enough of the tire that Nathan Ramsey grabbed a bit of brake, and that was all that Ivan Tedesco needed. So right now, your leader in the 125 main event as we come up on the halfway point. Number 21, Stephane Roncada behind him. Ivan Tedesco. If you're Mitch Peyton right now and you want to give out riding orders, you tell these guys, take it easy for a little while. Just get some space between you and Ramsey.
I wouldn't tell them anything. These guys have been doing so well since this 125 West region started. Let them go. They're not going to take each other out. If they do, take care of it back in the truck. But right now, let the race come to them, and that's exactly what Tedesco has done. I'll tell you what, later on when they go look at the tape, Ricotta and Ramsey are going to be embarrassed when they found out how far behind them Hot Sauce started.
Unbelievable. If you're just joining us, Ivan Tedesco, who has won the last 3 main events, has started in 9th, and here he is. He takes the inside line, and can he get the drive? And he does it. Ivan Tedesco is putting on an absolute clinic here in the 125 class. Not 1, but 2 passes.
I tell you what, he looks like he's riding on a different track as these guys. And now Roncada's got to worry about the Honda of Ramsey coming up behind him. But Tedesco, the way he sliced through, totally clean. He was very aggressive, good riding. Now look, Ramsey's going to go inside, and it looks like he's going to make a pass, and he does. Nathan Ramsey moves into 2nd. So now, halfway through the race, Ramsey has got to pass the guy who just passed him. Roncada looks like he's dropping anchor.
It's gut check time for Nathan Ramsey, number 25, on board the Honda. He will have to try and track down and do what no one has been able to do before, and that is bring in Ivan Tedesco. Tedesco sits in 1st. Nathan Ramsey sits in 2nd. Stephane Roncada has slid now back to 3rd place, but if you're Mitch Peyton, this is a great scenario. Nathan Ramsey has got to ride offensively and not worry about Roncada.
Yeah, he's got to do that, but how can you when you have a rider with so much talent as Ricotta does? You know, I said earlier that Ricotta is not going to outwork you, but he might outsmart you. And right now, Nathan Ramsey needs to ride forward and not worry about the guy behind him. But last time he did that, Tedesco passed him.
Stephane Roncada looked so good to start things off, but he has gradually fallen off the pace just a little bit. But the pace that has been set is by his teammate, Ivan Tedesco. As we go back to Nathan Ramsey, now sitting in second place. Ramsey has been on fire out of Menifee, California on the Honda CRF 250R. Nathan Ramsey really flying the colors for Team Honda this year with the injuries to the other riders.
Yeah, you know, and he's flying those colors all alone. As we talked about earlier in the 250 class, Ricky Carmichael's not even here. Ernesto Fonseca got a knee injury of his own. A lot of pressure on this kid from Tennessee, but Nathan's been around the block. He knows what he's got to do, but right now I think everybody in this class is just mind-boggled about how well Ivan Tedesco is riding.
Nathan Ramsey continues to run in second place, trying to find the magic in the corners that he told Robbie Floyd he had. He's going to have to reel in Ivan Tedesco, but Tedesco leads as we take a break. One more look at Andrew Short with Greg Snell just in front of him. The joys of wearing the helmet cam.
Carmichael versus Wyndham. Two-stroke versus four-stroke. Honda versus Honda. This season, the battle for the motocross title was all about performance. And in the end, there were two winners. Kevin Wyndham and the CRF 450R, first of the four strokes, second overall. And Ricky Carmichael and the Honda CR 250R, back-to-back motocross champions. The battle is over. The winner is Honda.
Welcome back to San Diego, California. Your leader, number 29, Ivan Tedesco, on board the Kawasaki. He was as far back as 9th place, folks, to start this thing off. I am a believer, and I think the rest of America is. A lot of people thought maybe tonight might not be his night. Nathan Ramsey might get him. I hold firm that Kawasaki may win every 125 race this year.
But I'll tell you what, at the beginning of the year, I would have bet that on the 125 East with James Stewart, but I would never have bet this. But Ivan Tedesco, just absolutely impressive. He's riding so smart and so smooth, and he's proven that he can win from the front. Last week, he proved he can win from the back, and right here, he's doing it again.
There is number 35, Chris Gosselaar, who currently sits in 4th place, just ahead of Travis Preston. And Preston, somewhat of a mystery, did not get the start. I don't know if it was the drop-down start that we had here, but the two Hondas now doing battle, and that shift gear is flying, and they are getting awfully close together.
I tell you what, for a couple teammates, that was a pretty aggressive move by Travis Preston. But look, he comes a little, takes to the inside there, gets caught in that powder, but looks like Gosselaar's too far behind to make a move. You know what? Checking out our TISO scores at the top of the page there, I don't think there's a two-stroke in the top 10 tonight after Andrew Short fell down.
Unbelievable racing we've got tonight. So the race really is Travis Preston to the podium. Does he knock out a Kawasaki and Stephane Roncada, who's just ahead of him by about 60 yards? Can he reel him in and join the podium that Ivan Tedesco looks to be destined to grab with Nathan Ramsey? I'll tell you what, that really would mix up the industry. You get the Hondas up there because it's been all Kawasaki, to tell you the truth, these first 4 rounds of the 125 West Circuit.
And I tell you what, Todd, I was one of the people that believed that the Hondas would dominate. That bike they brought out was just an amazing bike, but you know what? Kawasaki's bike, obviously, pretty good as well. And what Mitch Peyton's been able to do with those bikes at Pro Circuit, well, the proof is in the results. They're 3 in a row, and Ivan's about to make it 4.
As we look at Travis Preston coming through, you made a good point earlier in the show. Did Kawasaki catch the rest of the factories off guard?
You know, they might have, because there was a lot of hoopla about the CRF 250R because it came out before the Kawasaki did. And also, when James Stewart decided not to ride the 4-stroke Kawasaki, a lot of people instantly thought, well, there's got to be something wrong with the bike. But it turns out James Stewart just decided he wants to ride a 125 instead. I can't imagine what he'd be like on this bike, but then again, maybe the 125 suits his talents, just as a 4-stroke very obviously suits this man's talent, Ivan Tedesco.
Well, not to get ahead of ourselves, folks, but at the end of the year, we are going to the East-West Shootout, and Ivan Tedesco-James Stewart matchup is phenomenal. Right now, let's check in with Robbie.
Hey, guys, you got to love the pit boards the last couple of laps for Ivan Tedesco. His mechanic friends going, use your head, breathe, you know, be smart. It's so funny at the end of the race, like they're not trying to breathe and think about this throughout the race, but you know they got to put it on the pit board every time.
Good point, Robbie, and I think Ivan Tedesco, what makes him great is the way he rides. He always rides with comfort, with casualness, with confidence. I mean, the 3 C's, he's out there having fun. He's just turning some hot laps.
I'll tell you what, he's matured a lot in the last year. I remember he was riding for Plano Honda, his first times with Yamaha Troy. Ivan Tedesco has had some really big crashes. A lot of people are starting to think, was his career going to pan out? Was he going to live up to his potential? And finally, he is. And check it out. Now Travis Preston has moved up on Roncada. I told you Roncada was going backwards. And check it out. Preston uses the same move he used on Gosselaar, and now he's going to get that podium spot you were talking about, Todd.
Travis Preston moving up yet another spot. The 6'2 giant. I think this guy can dunk, and right now he just put a hammer jam on Stephane Roncada. Roncada just getting bumped off the podium. Preston joining the throng of 3 and throwing out a roost and a tough block to boot. I'll tell you what, if this race was going 20 laps, I might put a little money on him. And look at Roncada trying to get it back.
I tell you what, it looked like Roncada gave up in that corner. I'm going to call him out on that. Preston was having trouble going down through that rhythm section, and it looked like Roncada just backed off. Look how far he's dropped back. He's tired. His arms are pumped up.
So the running order looks like this as we get ready for the white flag lap. It's Tedesco, Ramsey, and Preston. It is the final lap as it comes out, and Ivan Tedesco just has a few more turns, folks. Your winner, 125 West main event, Ivan Tedesco. And look at the lead he has as Nathan Ramsey comes through. Preston now just coming around on this last turn. Travis Preston will pick up 3rd place. So the Hondas go 2 and 3, but it is Tedesco who picks up yet another victory. Davey Coombs, I think everyone in San Diego's Qualcomm Stadium is definitely a Tedesco believer.
I'll tell you what, this sweep through the Southwest that Ivan has been on has just been about as impressive. You have to go back to the days of Jeremy McGrath, maybe Ricky Carmichael in 1998 to see a guy dominate, and so unexpected too. I mean, Carmichael was young, McGrath kind of came out of nowhere, but Tedesco's been around for a little bit, and all of a sudden he got all the pieces to the puzzle together. Looks like he's going to ask that flagman to hold his bike.
Can you hold my bike? I don't know if he was giving it to him. He's going to chalk some goggles up into stands, little souvenirs. Kid, hold on to those for your dear life. Ivan Tedesco coming back to claim his bike. Ivan Tedesco continues on with the parade lap as he conquers Qualcomm Stadium and yet another 125 West main event. When we come back to San Diego, we'll talk to our winner. Welcome back to San Diego, California.
At start and was working my way up, and I just kept passing people, and I didn't know if they were lappers or what was going on. And then when I passed Ricotta, I was all by myself, so I don't know if I was winning or 5th place or what.
Good job on 3rd.
Thanks.
As we take a look at the Honda 125 main event results, it is like this, and we'll fill you in, Travis. Ivan Tedesco gets the victory, Nathan Ramsey 2nd, Travis Preston on the podium in 3rd, and then Stephane Roncada. Also, Chris Gosselaar with a great run, and Troy Adams finishing up in 7th place. Right now, let's go back down to the track, and Robbie.
All right, Nate Dogg, we talked about that cornering speed. It looked like you might have had it, just wasn't enough, though.
Yeah, you know, Ivan's riding really good right now, and he's not making mistakes, and I made one crucial one and missed the rhythm section, and, you know, it was pretty much all I need. I actually missed a couple of rhythm sections, and, you know, it felt really good. You know, my Honda CRF, you know, 250 is just running awesome. It's handling good. It's all up to me. You know, I just got to step it up a little bit, and, you know, today I was kind of off all day, you know, on my times, and for me to step it up in the main, I feel pretty good. I'm still not happy. You know, I just want to thank everybody that's helping me out. You know, Cherubies is really putting in a lot of work. My family, my little girl right here, my wife, Monica, little boy. You know, I want to thank God for, you know, keeping me safe. And, you know, there's just a lot of people backing me up, all the guys at Honda. It just makes it easy for me, and, you know, I want to race with them, so that's good.
Good job on 2nd.
Thanks.
Well, I think we will hear from Nathan Ramsey before this series is over. The road to Las Vegas, and it looks like this, the point standings. If you're an Ivan Tedesco fan, you got to like what you're seeing on the board right now, but a lot of guys will have something to say with still several stops to go as we culminate at the official destination of Supercross, Las Vegas. One more time, back down to Robbie Floyd with our winner.
Smooth as butter, Ivan Tedesco. Man, I've been watching you grow up. You're a Southwest kid. What has changed this year? Is it, slave driver Mitch Peyton or what?
I don't know. First of all, my bike's really good, and I just worked really hard during the offseason. And with my trainer, Darren Stockton, and with Dr. G, helped me out, keep me 100%. And just I'm learning how to race finally. Before I was a little impatient, and just finally learning.
You worked by Nathan, then Ron. You pretty much knew you would be up at front, it looked like. You were just biding your time.
Yeah, I didn't get the greatest start, and I found a few holes and got up into the top like 5 or 6, and then just started picking guys away. And whenever I got in third, I saw them, they were pretty close. I was like, I got to be patient, and I knew I had 15 laps. So.
It worked. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. I'd like to thank everybody that's brought me where I've been. My family, my friends, my girlfriend, trainer, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Well done, Ivan Tedesco and Robbie Floyd. We congratulate him as we see if he can keep this streak alive. And your final thoughts, Davey Coombs?
Well, you know what? I thought this would be the night that Tedesco got beat. The track was so dynamic. He didn't really look that great in practice, but shows why I'm not out there racing. I can't spot a winner from a loser, and that guy right there is a big winner. 4 in a row. He's got 100 points, and I'll tell you what, at this point, I think he's getting James Stewart's attention back east.
Ivan Tedesco, your winner tonight in the main event, and he did it with a lot of style, coming from way in the back of the pack, moving his way up past guys like Stephane Roncada and Nathan Ramsey. So your winner, once again, Ivan Tedesco, he makes it 4 in a row as he conquers Qualcomm Stadium and picks up the victory in the 125 main event. The rain came, but it didn't dampen the spirits of Team Kawasaki. Mitch Peyton and the fans stuck around, and they watched a great event. Ivan Tedesco gets the victory, Ramsey gets second, and Preston will join them on the podium. So on behalf of my colleagues, Robbie Floyd and the great Davey Coombs, I'm Todd Harris saying good night from Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, California. We're moving up the road to Anaheim next week. We hope you can join us. If not, you can catch all the action on ESPN2. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Good night from San Diego.